Greeting. Following is the translation of the today's Q&A into English. First, we will have a group of questions from the yogis from Hương Đạo Temple. Question number 1. Dear Venerable, I just learned how to meditate. Please instruct me on the meditation practice. Thank you very much. The answer is, Vipassana meditation is the meditation that will help lead us out of the suffering. And in order to do that, first we need to have faith. We need to believe in the Buddha's teaching, believing in the law of cause and effect. Then we need to keep our morality pure by keeping either 5 or 8 precepts. When the morality, the precepts are pure, we will practice meditation, then concentration will develop. When concentration develops, wisdom will arise. There are 2 types of meditation. One is the concentration meditation. Second type is the insight meditation or Vipassana meditation. For the concentration meditation, the object does not change. For example, if the practitioner recite the word Arahant, 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 then he just keep on reciting that word for the whole time. During the reciting of the Buddha's virtue, at that time, the yogi's mind, mentally, verbally, it is pure. There is no attachment, there's no aversion, and the mind is on the chanting. With the continuation of reciting the word Arahant, Arahant like that, eventually concentration will develop and the yogi will attain jhana. When he has jhana, the 5 obstacles for the meditation will temporarily subdue. 5 obstacles are attachment, aversion, sloth and torpor, restlessness, and doubt. So when the practitioner attained jhana, at that time, the 5 obstacles are temporarily subdued. And another type of meditation is called Vipassana or insight meditation. With this meditation, the practitioner can have a lot of objects. The objects for insight meditation is mind and body, or the 5 aggregates, or the 12 bases. The yogi can aware of any object that arises through any of the 6 sense door, and the object of the insight meditation can change. He can be aware of the breath, of the walking, of pain, of seeing, hearing, thinking, etc. The teacher takes the example of awareing of the breath. For the yogi who practices concentration meditation, when he awares of the in-breath and out-breath, all he does is just know about the in-breath and out-breath. He is just saying in-breath, out-breath, in-breath, out-breath, until the concentration develops, and he will attain the first level, second level, third level, fourth level of jhana. And with the same object of the breath, the insight meditation practitioner first aware of the in-breath and out-breath, but then he will pay more attention at the area below the nose and the upper lip, the area that is called the philtrum, the vertical space. So when the yogi pays attention at that area, he will sense the movement of the air, the coolness, warmness, and with more practice, he will sense the vibration of the air at that space. So when the yogi changes from concentration to insight meditation, his mind pays more attention to the sensation. And talking about concentration, a person can have a wrong concentration and right concentration. Wrong concentration is concentration onto something that is not wholesome. For example, a person who is holding a knife with the intention of harming someone, or a person is holding a gun, try to aim to kill someone, and that is a wrong concentration. But for someone who practices meditation, the concentration is wholesome. When someone does the vipassana meditation, at first, before sitting, he can bow down to the Buddha 3 times, reciting the virtue of the Buddha, like Arahant, 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 for a minute or two. And then he can start to aware of the in-breath and out-breath, and then pays a little more attention to the philtrum area, the vertical space below the nose and at the upper lip. When he pays attention to that area, he will feel the sensation, warmness, coolness, or any vibration. Gradually, when concentration develops, he will notice that the warmness and coolness by itself, it does not cognize, it does not aware, but the mind is paying attention. That mind is aware. So there is the materiality and there is the mental aspect of it. And when the yogi pays attention to the breath, the in-breath and the out-breath, pays attention to the sensation, at that moment he does not think. He does not think about the past nor the future. His mind is on the present. He he practices meditation to live in the present, to be aware of the mind, of the defilement, to aware of the true nature, which is constantly changing. Before practicing meditation, the mind is always outside. But when he practices, the mind tunes in. So he is aware of his own mind and body, and he notices that it changes constantly. When paying attention to the breath, to the sensation, the mind is present, and he just pays attention to whatever is present right there. He does not judge, he does not comment anything. Whatever is, he just aware of it. The Buddha taught us to live in the present. And to live in the present, to remember of the present object. The breath is with us constantly. So if we remember to be in the present, to be with the breath, then we are not dead. We are living. We are living in the present. We are aware of the present. For science needs to see the bacteria, needs to see the virus in order to make medicine to cure the disease. As for the practitioner, we need to be able to see the mind. When we see the mind, we can see the defilements, we see how it works, and we also see that the mind arises and it passes away. And that is nature. Arising and passing away is nature, and that is impermanence. When something is passing away or is disappearing, there is no need for us to be attached to it. And there is no attachment, there is no suffering. Meditation is the best way that we can honor the Buddha. We can donate, we can support the Sangha, we can help build the monastery. Those are all wholesome deeds, and they are very, very good. But the best wholesome deed is to practice meditation. During the practice, if the yogi's mind starts to wander, then just make a note of thinking, then goes back to the in-breath and the out-breath. And if the yogi cannot aware of the sensation at the philtrum, then return to the in-breath and the out-breath. That is the end of the first question. Second question is, when I sit and meditate, I notice that there are pains throughout the body at different location and different sensation. When I notice the pain, unwholesome thoughts arise. When I pay attention to the unwholesome thoughts, then the pain decreases. Afterward, I return to the physical pain, and the sensation gets stronger from the legs to the head. Dear Bante, please instruct how should I continue? Am I doing it correctly or not? The answer for this question is when the yogi pays attention, he will notice that there are painful sensations throughout the body, and the sensations are different and they are at different location, and that observation is correct. And when yogis notices that there is unwholesome thought arise when there is pain, so that means the yogi is able to aware of the mind. And when he sits and meditates, he can observe that is correct. And this yogi is honest. When the pain arises, he notices that unwholesome thoughts also arise. When he pays attention to the unwholesome thought, the pain decreases. And the teachers say because at that time his mind pays attention to the thought but not to the pain. When the yogi returns to the painful sensation, then the intensity of the pain increases. So whatever he observes, it is all correct. The yogi just continue with the practice. When pain arises, yogi needs to be aware of it and acknowledge it. Just make a mental note of pain, pain, pain. When the pain subsides, he can return to the in-breath and the out-breath, and then pays attention to the area of the philtrum. If yogi is not able to sense any sensation, it is okay. Just return to the in-breath and the out-breath. The key thing is do not judge, do not compare, and do not forget to be in the present. Whatever yogi observes, just aware of it, and that is enough. Question number 3. After 2 days of meditation, I noticed that my low back is painful and my 2 legs are painful. At the last sitting of the day, I was afraid that pain would come. And I know I am aware of the aversion of anger because I was afraid, because of fear. When I realized that, I determined to look straight into the pain in order to overcome it, because I know that before death, there will be a lot of pain. When I thought up to that, fear returns. Dear Bante, please help me how to overcome this fear. Respectfully yours. Bante is just a word for venerable in Pali. For this question, the teacher answers as, after 2 days of meditation, the yogi starts to feel pain because now he has concentration. There are sensations in the body all the time, but normally we don't pay attention. Therefore, we are not aware of it. Now we tune the mind inside and pay attention, and with the help of concentration, we are more aware of the pain. And that is nature. There is painful sensation all the time since we were young, but we are not used to seeing it. And now, when we see it for the first time, it is very difficult to bear. So, when we have fear, how do we overcome it? The only way to overcome fear is by noting, by having awareness, by having mindfulness. When the pain comes, simply aware of it and make a mental note of fear, fear, fear. And after several times of noting fear, and fear does not go away, then yogi can note about the Buddha virtue. He can note Buddha, Buddha, or he can note Arahang, Arahang, Arahang. When he notes Buddha, Buddha, then with the in-breath, he notes Buddha. With the out-breath, he notes Do, Buddha, Buddha. So the mind at that time is on the breath. And after several time of observing the in-breath and the out-breath, his mind start to gain some concentration. He can sense at the philtrum area, at the area below the base of the nose and the upper lip. He can sense the vibration, the coolness or the warmthness. We can solve all of the problems by having awareness. The Buddha taught us the awareness, and we should apply it. With the mindfulness, the awareness, in combination with concentration, wisdom will arise. When wisdom arises, we will notice that the sensation, the warmness, coolness, vibration, they arise and they go away. They disappear. And that is impermanence. Impermanence is suffering. And that is the true nature. With wisdom, we can penetrate into the true nature of the breath, of the sensation, and of the mind. When we see the true nature of arising and passing away, everything just disappears. We cannot attach to anything because there is nothing to be attached to when things disappear constantly. When there is no attachment, there is no suffering. So that is the answer for that question for the yogis at the Dao temple. Now we will move on to the next question. I'm looking for the questions. Okay. Dear Venerable, I am practicing Vipassana meditation with the main object is rising and falling of the abdomen. Would it be fine if I sit longer than 1 hour as suggested in the retreat? Will it have any effect on my practice? When I sit longer, I feel sensations clearer. Sometimes it is painful, increasing and decreasing. It just goes on like that. Venerable, please give me some instruction. Thanks to the Venerable and the admin. The answer for this question is, certainly you may sit for more than 1 hour if your health permit, and there is no effect on your practice at all. During the practice of meditation, patience is the most important. That is why patience is listed as one of the perfection, one of the parami. Without patience, there is no success. Strength or patience is strength. And the teacher gives the example of the hen sits on the eggs. The hen has to be very patient and sit on the eggs for a very long time. When she needs to go look for food, she just hurriedly go look for food and then hurriedly back and sit on the eggs. The reason that the hen always sit on the eggs and go look for food in a short time and get back quickly to sit on the eggs, because she is afraid that the chicks will die if the eggs get cold. In the same way, with the practice of insight meditation, the yogi needs to have continuous mindfulness. If the mindfulness has a lot of gaps, then concentration cannot be developed and wisdom cannot. So for the practice, mindfulness needs to be continuous, and the combination of mindfulness with concentration will develop wisdom. For example, if we have a pot of water and we want it to boil, if we put on the stove, turn on the gas for a few seconds, then turn it off, and then turn it on for a minute or two, then turn it off. If we do that all the time, then the water can never get to the boiling point. In the same way, in order for wisdom to arise, we need to have constant mindfulness. Mindfulness with concentration will lead to wisdom. When during the practice, when we aware of the object, for example, today if we observe the arising and the passing away of objects, and next month when we observe it again, we will see it differently, because when the awareness, mindfulness, and the concentration are getting stronger, we will see differently. It can never be the same. When wisdom arises, then faith will also increase. That is why wisdom and faith are two of the inheritance of the enlightened persons. Next question. I will try to translate this question. Um, I don't quite understand the meaning because the language and the idea are Mahayana and the author uses many Chinese words, but I will try. Dear Venerable, I would like to offer this poem to you. Everything is empty, emptiness is having. The truth of Buddha is clear. Walking will get to destination, reflecting clearly. The teacher points the way, I have to do the walking. Knowing that actions are karma. I am the owner of my karma. Not creating karma is happiness. When creating conditions, then earth, water, fire, and the wind elements will arise. Emptiness, awareness, diffuse to all beings. No happiness, no sadness with original self. Realize Nibbana. Nibbana is there with emptiness. People look in the books, but Nibbana is outside of mind and body. Mind and body will show the way to fully understand the noble truth of suffering. Realize Dhamma in this moment. Need be near death once to awaken this mind and body. Respectfully yours. The teacher comments that the earth, water, fire, air, and the awareness are the truth. And for this yogi, the teacher accepts the poem with the word sadhu, 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 and asks this person to continue with the practice. Next question. Dear Venerable, a novice committed sexual misconduct and was asked to leave the order. But the novice still stays in the monastery and later on became a monk. In that case, would he be able to attain Nibbana? The above novice became a monk, then later on disrobed, then order again, and continue to meditate. Would he be able to attain path and fruition? With gratitude and respect to the Venerable and the admin. This question has two parts. The first part is a novice committed sexual misconduct and was asked to leave the order. But the novice still stayed in the monastery and later on became a monk. In that case, would he be able to attain Nibbana? Second part of the question. With the above novice, he became a monk, then later on disrobed, then ordained again, and continued to meditate. Would he be able to attain path and fruition? The Venerable answers to this question is, when this novice, this Samanera, committed the sexual misconduct, he must disrobe. In this case, he did not disrobe, but continue to become a bhikkhu, a monk. That is not appropriate. That means he is stealing the image of a monk. He can deceive others, but he cannot deceive himself. Because if he already committed the sexual misconduct offense, he must disrobe. But he did not disrobe, and he continued to ordain as a monk. That is not proper, and that is wrong. And if he did that, would he be able to achieve any higher level of meditation? The answer is no. The answer is no. Because just the part of becoming a monk, that is already wrong. And he steals the image of a monk. He is not a monk, but he deceives others. He can deceive others, but he cannot deceive himself. So when he sits and meditates, the unwholesome thought will arise. He will have a lot of remorse and regrets. The mind cannot be calm. He cannot meditate. He will suffer. So, the teacher gives the example. If someone has a tumor, then the right things to do is to remove that tumor. If the person or the patient does not remove the tumor, that means the tumor is always present in the body and it will cause the body pain. In the same way, if this person did not confess his wrongdoing, then that wrong that wrong actions will be in his mind all the time. He would not be able to meditate at all. Excuse me. So for this yogi, he needs to confess his wrongdoing with his preceptor. Otherwise, the tumor always stay there and he will always suffer. Next question. Dear Venerable, I just learned about the Dhamma in the last several months. Would you please explain? Are the four grasping Dear Venerable, I just learned about the Dhamma in the last several months. Would you please explain that? Are the lower factors include the four graspings and aversion? Four graspings are craving, wrong views, adherence to rites and ceremonies, and wrong view of self. Are these four grasping belong to the lower factors? And are the lower factors include four grasping and aversion? Second part of this question. Conceit. Would you please explain the meaning of conceit, I tried to look up in the dictionary and it says slowly, disregard, doing whatever one wants. But I do not understand it clearly. Please instruct. The teachers say, conceit means a comparison. Comparing between oneself to others. Either I am the same with the person, I am higher to him, or I am lower to him. And this mental state, this conceit, can be totally eradicated at the level of the Arahant. During the practice of meditation, it is very important that the yogi does not compare, does not judge. Whatever happens, he's just aware of it. He should be honest. When we do not compare, then there is no conceit. So in the dictionary, when it say slowly, so that is a form of conceit, because if there is no comparison between something, then we don't know whether it is slow or fast. So that is a way of comparing. And for the word disregard, it means there must be a comparison between oneself and others. So that is also belong to the word conceit. In the daily life, we should try not to compare. If we are poor, then we just aware of our status. There is no need to compare with anyone. There is no need to look down on ourselves. Whatever is, it just is. Third part of this question. When I practice meditation, I notice that when the eye sees an object, for example, when something drops on the floor, as soon as the eyes see it, the body automatically bends down and try to pick it up. I understand this is cause and effect. But according to the dependent origination, from contact, feeling arises. From feeling, craving arises. From craving, clinging arises. From clinging, existence of life and conditions arises. Does it mean that in this whole series, from contact to existence of life and conditions, it happens extremely fast? So in this series, does it mean that feeling, craving, clinging, and existence of life and conditions still occur? Because I was not able to see it since they happen very fast. The teacher answers is, in this series, from contact to clinging to the existence of life and volitions, it happens very fast. If we have contact, automatically feeling arises, and there is no way to stop feeling. it will automatically arise. We cannot stop them. But from feeling to craving, we can control it. And Vipassana meditation, with the awareness, we can cut out craving. That is where mindfulness comes in. When we are aware of feeling, then craving does not arise. When we are aware of feelings, we notice feelings, we notice that feeling arises and it passes away. When it passes away, there is nothing to crave. And when there's no craving, there's no clinging, then there is no existence of life and volitions, meaning there is no creation, there is no creating of the karma. When there is no creation of karma, there is no rebirth, decay, death, and suffering. So the key thing of this whole series is at the point of craving. That is the only link that we can control, this dependent origination. And we can do that through Vipassana practice. We can do that by having awareness, by having mindfulness. Once there is contact, feeling arises and we cannot stop it. Once there is craving, clinging automatically arises and we cannot stop it either. We can only stop it between feeling and craving. So whenever feeling arises, yogi should pay attention and notice it right away. How do we have mindfulness? In order to have mindfulness, we need to have effort. With effort, we can have mindfulness continuously. With mindfulness, we can look at feeling. When we look at feeling, then craving cannot arise. So that is how we can cut the whole cycle of the dependent origination. With a strong mindfulness, we can see that the feeling changes. It is not constant. It arises and it passes away. It is impermanent, and impermanent is suffering. When we practice meditation, we can aware of the mind. By awareing of the mind, we can train the mind. With the practice of meditation, with mindfulness, when mindfulness is strong enough, concentration will also gets stronger. When mindfulness and concentration get stronger, the mind calms down, it is clearer. Then we can see what is going on in the mind. Just like when the water is murky, we cannot see our own face. When the water is clear, we can see our face. And this practice is called the Noble Eightfold Path. From mindfulness and concentration, wisdom arises. And when the yogi remembers to pay attention to the object, and in this case, the object is the in-breath and the out-breath. So each time that he pays attention, he is alive. He is not dead because he is aware of the present. Next part of the question. When there is the eye contact, the body contact, and the painful sensation, I try to delay the body of doing whatever it needs to do because I want to observe it. Then during that time, the mind will appear different images surrounding things that I need to do. Does it mean there is craving at that time? The teacher's answers is, please do not play with fire. If you already know what it is, then just do it. If you just delay, then it just takes more time, and there is no need. If you already know how to do, then go ahead, do it. Don't waste time. If a person is able to meditate and practice, then go ahead and practice. With the diligence of practice, he will be able to achieve the stream enterer when the yogi practice, he would achieve the stream enterer. With the stream enterer, there are only 7 more lives to go. And continuing with the practice, he will reach the once returner. That means he can be reborn only one more life. And with the practice, he will go on to the 3rd level. He will be reborn in the Arupa realm, in the Deva realm. And at that time, he would continue to practice and to become an arahant. Therefore, the teacher said that do not delay. If you know, then just continue to practice. Try to attain to be a stream enterer in this life. If you are not able to attain stream enterer or the first level of enlightenment, then at least a lesser stream enterer. The Buddha said that if a person puts enough effort, he would be able to attain the goal, maximum 7 years. And if he has more perfection, he would attain in 6 years, in 5 years, or 7 months. Or if he has more parami or perfections, he would be enlightened in a day and a night. That is with someone who has enough perfections. Therefore, the advice for this yogi is do not delay with your practice. If you already know, then just go on. And that is the end of today's Q&A. Thank you very much, and we'll see you next week. Thank you.